May is a great time to take cuttings of some of your favorite perennials, mainly because they're still soft, they're still coming up from the ground, they're flexible, and that's what we're doing today actually.
That's right. Actually, I'm starting right here on the stouter Salvia. I already taken a few, and as you can see, they are really in great growth here. And we have some down here. I'm trying to avoid to take the ones that has actually buds coming, because you can move it away, but it's a little bit shame to take those. So I'm kind of looking down here. There's some poking out here that will be really great. So what I do, I want to have a good growth, not one that's leggy or sad looking. And then I run down and cut right under a leaf joint here, a leaf knot here. So I cut right under there, because then later on I'm gonna take the foliage away. So I'll go up to the table and show the whole process. So I have all my cuttings here from the stouter Salvia, and it's actually nice. It's a bit cloudy today, because if I do a lot of these cuttings, they really tend to wilt really quickly. So I sometimes put them in a plastic bag or in a jar with water, so they can sit there until I get everything ready, and then I'm ready to start. So what's important that I use a really good compost here, really airy. It's half compost, and then it's like a chicken manure, and then it's half
Wood fibers.
wood fibers. There it was. So what I do, I have a good sized pot here, and very important with drainage hole, so excess water can run out. And I just kind of fill it up here. And what's important, I don't push down the soil, because it's not going to be good for the little cutting to have be in very compressed soil. So what I tap a little bit, and then I'll do it again later. But just fill it up really to the top, because it will kind of fall down when I water. So all my pots are ready here. That's a good thing. When I do my cuttings, have all the pots ready with the soil. And then I'll just show one of these ones. And I really study them. If they have any like kind of disease or not really a strong looking plant, I don't bother to make a cutting of it, because it might not grow roots, which I want. So notice here I cut right under the leaf joint here on this one, and you would do around 5 to 10 centimeters, depending on what kind of perennial. Some of them have shorter stems, but then I just remove either with my hands or with a scissor, the lower leaves, and this is the place here you want to have under the ground here. Then you can also remove some of the foliage here on the top.
And the reason that you remove these leaves is because this little guy doesn't have any roots, obviously.
Yeah.
So he's going to start losing water through those leaves, and we don't want him to lose any water that he doesn't have to lose.
Yeah, that's true. So what I do, I have it here, and then I'll add, because the chances of some of them not rooting might happen. So what I do, I place more than one cutting in one pot, and I place them on the edge. I just put it down here slowly, and I can give a little gentle push down so it comes down. You can also use, if you have, depending on if they are very soft, make a little hole first indentation with a pick or whatever you have, and then you can make it go down. But these ones are pretty sturdy, these ones actually. And then what I do, I'll just add a few more, remove the lower leaves here.
Another reason for removing the leaves, if you'd like to know, is that way the plant will stop spending the rest of whatever energy's in that little stem on the leaves, and will start putting that energy into making roots.
So just add it again along the side, and this one is a bit bendy, so I actually make a little.
And it's great to put them on the side, because as it grows roots, the roots are going to grow in and around, obviously, the little plant. If you put them all into the middle, and as they grow roots, it's going to be quite difficult to separate them out. So that's sort of a...
And then you kind of disturb them the least, so it's later on. So actually here, and then you can shake it a little bit, and then get the new cuttings, get good contact with the soil, tap them a few times. And then actually what left to do is, I have one here called stouter Salvia, the Caradonna here. I add a name tag and also the date, because then you really clearly know how long it's going to take. Depending on what kind of perennial you propagate, it takes around everything between 4 to 8 weeks. Generally 6 to 8, I would say, on most of these ones I do. Then I just keep it watered. And bear in mind, when I do this, it's really important not to overwater. So when they start to look a little bit dry on the surface, I'll add a little bit more, do a good water here in the beginning. Then I add them in the greenhouse away from direct sunlight, because it can scorch the foliage here. And some of them might look a little bit sad in the beginning, and that's totally normal, because imagine you would get pulled off your arms or your legs, you would kind of not feel very happy in the beginning. But these ones, I'll add them in there. You can also, if you don't have a greenhouse, you can do inside at the windowsill, away from the direct sunlight. Add a plastic bag over and then clip a hole in the top so you get high humidity in there. They will be really happy with that. And then you take off that plastic bag often to see so they don't start molding. But be careful with not overwatering. And then when you can see roots coming out of the pot, or you can gently, after those around 6 weeks, take them out, and then you can clearly see if they have rooted. So this one goes in the greenhouse.
Great. And you can see here by the popsicle sticks that we have quite a few more to do today. But I do want to say real quick that the soil mix will be the same. So as we mentioned, this is just 50% compost, 50% wood fiber. That wood fiber is going to give it nice aeration in there, so the roots aren't, as they start to grow, it's not super compact.
And I forgot to say that it's free of peat moss, and it's actually made here in Denmark, this one, which I really like ecologically, and we can trace everything, which I'm really proud of, actually.
Exactly. So from here on out, if you'd like to skip ahead and see the perennials that we're going to do, just check down in the description. I'll be sure to list them all so you can find your favorites and see how to get more. This Sedum Touchdown Teak. Absolutely gorgeous. And Sedum in general is really easy to propagate.
That's true.
Whether in the compost mix that we use or even in water, it's really one of the easiest ones. So if you're just getting started with taking cuttings, go and find some Sedum. It'll work for you.
And I'll cut right under a set of leaves here, just like that. Snip. And then here again, I'll remove the bottom set of leaves and the next set too. You don't want to have too many sitting on here. Actually, these ones I'll just do like this. And then this one is really ready. If there's also a top here, if some of them already has a flower, I would remove that as well. It's starting to set a set of flower here, so remove this one because you don't want it to focus on having that flower, but making roots instead. So I have my pot here, and I add, this is a very kind of hardy one, so I can still, I don't need to pre-mate a little hole, but on the edge there. And then I'll add a few more here around the corner, so I'm sure that it's gonna, this one easily germinates or sets roots actually. So this one goes in the greenhouse.
But even though it's really easy, if we could just say, do take more than one cutting, because you kind of just never know. This is nature, and you never know. So yeah, just remove those leaves and pop a few more in the pot.
This Iberis really is a great plant. It grows on the border here, just makes a huge pillow. I have them in this beautiful, beautiful color, and also over in white, and also easy to propagate by cuttings. So what we'll do here, I'll find one, and notice all these ones are in flower, but I'll just remove the flower on some of them. So what I do here, I go all the way down here on this stem, and then I find right under a set of leaves here, I will cut right there. And then I'll take this up. So what I'll do, I'll just use use 2 fingers here, and then I'll just pull them like this off.
Don't take the flower away.
I have to. So I'll run down where the flower starts here, so it's not too much foliage on. But then there's a bunch here, and this is a really great cutting, lots of growth in, ready just to create roots. So here again, I think this one needs a little hole there around the edge. Give a little push, and then I'll try and take a few more. Most of them has a flower coming. Let's find a good one.
I'll come with
here. Can I go? I'll go down under a set of leaves. Can I find one? There?
Yeah, under the leaf.
Good. So right on the leaf there, I remove
because the roots are going to start coming from where those leaves were. And on this one, can you hold it up, Lars, so I can get closer? Yeah, so you can really see those little bumps.
Yeah.
Exactly, where the leaves were, that's where this little guy will have roots soon.
So bye to the flower sadly here. So I'll do around, depending on what perennial it is, I'll do around, 5 to 6, depending on the size. This is a good size pot too, but around, 5-ish. I like number 5. That's my lucky number. But anyway, then I'll put them around the edge there and keep it watered. And then this one is ready too. And then we have more of this one up the path.
Another really great border plant here.
Ta-da!
This beautiful wallflower that I almost cut back too short last year, so we're happy to have it back this year.
So this way we actually have flower. But on this one, notice it gets a very long stem here. You can see how long the flower is. It's very low ground cover here. So what I do, I don't take off from this flower. I actually go much further down. I go under, it's almost like a blanket here. I just planted one plant, it just spread. So what I do, I find kind of like growth under here, like the foliage, the carpet I almost call it here because it's so low ground cover. So it grows around here along the border here. So what I do, I go all the way in here, kind of getting some of this foliage here, and then I just cut it. And as you can see here, the stem is not so long, so I'll just move all the foliage here on the top, on the bottom as well here. Pull this off so it doesn't have too much foliage. And then these ones will really quickly create roots down here. See, just really healthy and green, almost dark green foliage. So that shows me that's a good growth on this one. So I'll add on the corners here and add some water. Oops, there was 2 there. Give it a little soil there. And the other one can go here. So depending on what kind of perennial it is, there's different places on the plant you need to take these cuttings. So again, this one I can't really take like this one.
Don't cut the flower.
If I would take here, there's no foliage or anything. That's just where so that would kind of trick you because it has such a really long flower here, even though it's so, the foliage is actually down here. That's why this one is great to show, because you really have to go in and find these. Let's look here, really great, like all these here are really good. I'll take 2 here. All these ones are really great, but you have to go further down on this low wallflower here.
And we'll be very happy to have more of this one in the garden.
That is actually nice. And we also have an orange one, and they are really nice and really spreads like a pillow almost. I almost want to put my head on it. Okay. So we add the catwood here, the Nepeta, already going in bloom, but that doesn't scare me to take some cuttings of it. So here actually is a great one, as you can see here. So I'll go right under here, and then I'll just cut it. And what I'll do first, I'll take off, because it has create that flower bud already, gone with that. And then the lower foliage here, I'll pull it here, just like that. And then I have my pot, and I'll add it again just around the corner and push it in, and add a few more here around, and then my name tag.
Fantastic. And this one, like the Sedum, is really easy to grow from cuttings, wouldn't you say, Lars?
That one is really easy, and this one you can't have enough of. It's really good for the insects, really love it. Flowers for a very long time. So again, under a set of leaves there, cut, and then just remove most of the foliage here, and the top by with you, and then whoa, the insect came too.
Yeah, the bees are
really out today.
I'm backed up against the wisteria,
Which is
fading, but the bees are loving the lupins and what's left of this wisteria.
Yeah. Okay, so far 3 done here in this one. So another way you can do a cutting is actually just down at the base of the perennial. Some of them are really good. For example, this alunrod here is a basal cutting. So I'll just get you all the way down here. So this one, the alunrod down here, you don't need to actually have like any roots with it. So the base down here, it's almost like, because they grow on the side as well, so I just actually break off a piece down here. See if I can. You can also use a scissor or something, or a knife, but kind of that little clump that growth on the side, because that's also how they get wider, they grow over time. So you just break that kind of little bump off there. You don't need any root system on this one too, and I actually got 2, so that's really great. I removed some of the foliage here. Leave some of it. The top here I'll leave, but this is from the base, actually where the mother plant grew. It's a part of the mother plant here, so it's actually just break that off. I'll have a lot of growth in this one. It's the same with the other one here. It's all, even though it's tiny, it'll definitely root here. So what I do, I added, just use my hand here, and then make a little indentation for the alunrod here, and add a little soil, make one more over here to get, you want to have it good contact with the soil here. So just put some soil around, give it a little pinch there. So this one I'll add here, and then also I'll add some, keep it watered and add it in the greenhouse. And then within this one, it goes pretty quick, around 4 to 6 weeks. Then you have more of this alunrod. So lupins here, there's actually 2 ways. I'm going to show you the first way here, but you can do a basal cutting down here, where I just use, I just use my knife, and you don't have to get any roots with it. So what you have some growth here that it's really good to, the first method is here, you kind of get it when it just comes out of the ground. So I just kind of cut here. There we go. And then I take, has some foliage here, so I'll take some of it off. And then this little fella here is gonna root in this pot here around 6 to 8 weeks, because there's a lot of growth in that one. Keep it watered, and then I'll pop it in the greenhouse, and then I have more lupins. So the other method of how to propagate them, the lupins here, is this side shoot here. So in around in August, when they all finish flowering, actually, this side shoot has created a kind of like a little bulb, or like hard growth here, almost like the basal shoot I just showed you. So this one, later on there, I will just break that off, and at the same method as the first one I showed you, I'm gonna add it in a pot, and that stays in the pot compared to the other one that will already create roots this year. Then this one, I'll just forget all about it, put it somewhere in the garden or in the greenhouse, keep it a little bit watered, and then in the spring next year, it will have created roots, this little side one here. We add the Erysimum here, the Veronica, and that's also a great one to do cuttings of. So what I do, I run down, this has pretty long stems, so I'll go actually all the way down here under a set of leaves right there, and then I'll cut it so around. Yeah, this one would have around 1, 2, 3, like 4 sets of leaves here. So the bottom ones here, really big foliage already, I'll just remove those. And this set here, remove, and actually just cut this, because I really want that it creates a lot of roots and not a flower. And no flower yet, so I'm not moving the top. If it had more created flower bud up here, I could remove that too. So, but you can really see here, this is where it goes under the soil, and that's where all the roots are gonna come. So I'll add a little hole here on the edge on the pot, and just add it down there. Add a bit, maybe take a few more, because I have some that I put a stake here around, so all these are kind of falling out, so they gotta go anyway. Right under a set of leaves again, just remove those, and this set, and just these ones, and they go in here on the side too. And then I have to go right away and water it a little bit. There we go.
Lavender time. This one's also pretty easy to grow from cuttings, and who doesn't want more lavender?
You can never have enough lavender actually. So here we have it's really nice growth here. So I'll run down all the way in this new growth here, down to almost the old part here. And then here there's a bunch of foliage here that I'll remove some of them. So I'll just cut here and then show you. Then all this bottom piece here, I'll just remove all the foliage of that. if I can with my hand, there you go. Because then under all these sets of leaf, it will create the new roots actually, and also the top. And I can see already it has a flower, so I must sadly remove that one.
Some bee is very sad right now. But when it comes to lavender, make sure that you're taking those nice, flexible green ones instead of this hard, woody stuff down there at the bottom. If you cut that, it won't come back from that particular spot.
No. So here we go. Take the foliage off there and the flower.
And while we're here, we won't show the rosemary today, but the exact same idea with the rosemary, as you do with the lavender. Because rosemary grows very similarly with a nice soft green growth on top and that hardwood underneath. So as long as you're clipping off the green, lavender, rosemary, you're going to have a very fragrant garden very quickly.
Wow, while I did that, I already put some in. But here I have another one, so I'll just make a little indentation in the soil, and then I'll just add it in on the edge. Give it a little soil around, water it, name tag, boom. There we go. And then very soon we have more lavender. I put a the date on the back because then you can really experiment and see how fast it goes, depending if you have it in the greenhouse or inside. There you have it.
You're hiding back there, Lars.
At the elderflower, look at that. Black lace. I love the foliage on this one. And this is also a great one to do cuttings of. I'm trying to do not the ones you can see here, that's already done the flower. I don't want to really disturb that because they have these pink flowers, which is really great. But I have some here that has new shoots coming here and no flower. So what I do, I go under a set of leaves here.
2 seconds.
Yeah. You got it?
Got it.
Okay, and then I cut here. And then these ones, the set here, I'll remove the foliage on that. You can clean that up later. And then you have this one. You can also remove the tipped one there. And then you actually have a really nice cutting here. And then I'm just going to open down and get the pot here.
Yeah, you were trapped back there.
Right? It's like it's really grown over the last. It was a small plant. It's fast growing. So what I do again around the edge here, place it down here, keep it watered. And then this one will really be fast at creating new, and because it's such a fresh one. This one you can do both in the growing season, but also when the elderflower, when it's dormant, you can also do it. And maybe you would have more time. It is quite a busy time now in the garden, in the growing season. But I do it now, and then also you can do it when it's kind of asleep in the winter, and maybe you have more time to fiddle around with that. So there we go. And
yeah, while we're back here,
right.
Why don't we go ahead and take some hydrangea cuttings?
Because that one is also just very easy, and who doesn't want more?
And they're so
hydrangea?
expensive if you buy a new one. These are, what are called, mop heads. So,
Mop heads?
yeah.
Yeah. I was like...
It's called normal hydrangea in Danish, but yeah, average hydrangea, right?
Yeah.
Almindelig.
Yeah, almindelig.
Yeah.
So also here I'll run down and notice here this is like, it's very bendy, the green, lots of energy in that one. The wiggly ones are really great at making roots very fast. Compared to if you run down here to the more woody stems here, are not so good to do a cutting of. So there's a bunch of these. Actually, I think I'll go down here, and this one is a good one because there's no flower buds coming here, the flower head. So this one is really good. So what I do, I go under a set of leaves here, right there, and then I cut. And then I'll remove these ones. There we go. So it really creates roots. You don't want it to focus on, oh, I need to make a flower. So you really want it. So remove most of the foliage here. And this one is a perfect little cutting. And now I'll just show, I know it's next to a neighbor here, next to its friendly neighbor, the elderflower, but also the stem is really hard, so I don't pre-made a hole, but then I just add it along the edge again, keep it watered, and then have it in the greenhouse. And also if you want a high humidity or not in the greenhouse, just add a bag with a hole over, then it really gets high humidity in there, which is really good for it. And then take the bag on and off sometimes. Both methods work. I have it in the greenhouse, I wait for the strong sunlight, in the shady corner, and then they start to create roots.
Exactly. Let's take a few more. We always take more than one
Yeah.
just to be safe.
Okay.
And obviously, we really like hydrangea.
Yeah.
Here's one that I'm really excited about getting more of in the garden. These
And-
beautiful Sweet Williams. Sorry, Lars, go ahead.
I was about to say yes, Sweet Williams. So here they have long stems here. So I go under the set of leaves here, and cut it. And this one starts to it has like a fuzzy flower almost, and it's already starting that. So that has to go. Sorry.
No,
But
we
we
don't
can-
even have so many Sweet Williams.
No, I forgot to, because normally they are biennial. So, but when you trim them back after the flower, they tend to come again. But I need to sow more seeds from it, because it's really great that you can get more.
Or just take a
from
few
seeds.
more cuttings. Go
And
ahead.
cuttings, yeah. But then this one again, I remove the most sets of leaves here. It has around 4 to 5 sets of leaves, depending on the stem. So this one is actually really perfect now to go in my pot here, just around the edge. I push it down gently there. There we go. Let me take maybe a few more, because it's really maybe the ones in the back here. This one is so hidden anyway. So go under a set of leaves there. Remove the foliage underneath here. And the top, sadly, has to go.
Man.
Yeah, I know. Whoops. We'll still have some. If it
I
can
hear
cut.
lots of bees around me, so
They are happy today.
they don't know that this one won't come.
There we go. And the name tag. And I'll add them in the greenhouse with the other ones.
All right, time to give these guys some water, get them in the greenhouse, and yeah, wait for them to root.
That's going to be so exciting. It's nice with the more perennials.
Exactly, and for free.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for an easy way to get more of the same plants in your garden, or you know what, go to your neighbor's or your best friend's house, grandma's house. We did that when we first started our garden. A lot of the garden that you see back here behind us, yeah, it is from seed, it's from cuttings, also from free plants we found on Facebook Marketplace. So this is our version of a plant haul, and we hope you've enjoyed hanging out with us this morning. So thanks so much for watching.
Thank you. Moin.